Welcome to a new video. If you're new here, my name is Red. I'm a painter and tattooer in upstate South Carolina, and today we're going to do a little studio vlog, just like the last one. Lots of painting, lots of chatting about what I'm up to in the studio. There's a ton of product design happening right now and troubleshooting with new product stuff, all to get ready for the holiday season. With product design, it takes quite a while to design the product and then to receive the product, have it made and then shipped to you. Most of the companies that I've been working with lately are saying it's about a month or two turnaround time between when I order with them and when I actually get it in the studio. So that's kind of a long time. That's kind of, at this time in August, I'm kind of pushing it for having stuff ready for November and December. This is all a bit new to me. I've not worked with like larger manufacturers before. Typically I just am ordering through printing companies or a local printing company, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a new ordeal and it's pretty exciting. But I wanted to show you guys my new Patreon postcards and bookmarks. I'm pretty excited about these. This is a shameless plug. I'm just letting you know what I have. No pressure to sign up, but I know that a lot of YouTube folks enjoy Patreon items. So since these are coming out a little bit late in August, what I've decided to do is I'm going to do a little deal. If you sign up in August or within the first 7 days of September, then you'll get these guys. This is the postcard. Pretty stoked on it. This is from a little sketch that I did in my sketchbook last year during Christmas time, and I put it in Procreate and I colored it, and it was so much fun. I really enjoy it. It's a nasturtium, if you're familiar with that flower. And then for bookmarks, we have this sweet little dude. This is my friend Michaela. She has runner ducks, and I asked her for some reference photos of her duck. Billiam is his name, so we did Billiam. There we go. And then on the back, I love the back of the bookmarks to write notes, because when I'm reading, I always want to write notes about what I'm reading. It's kind of silly as a business owner for me to do this deal for you, because like you're kind of getting 2 for 1 if you end up signing up in September. Because like the way Patreon works is if you sign up in August, then I'll ship August's rewards to you the first week of September. So with this, if you sign up the first 7 days of September, then you'll get this. And then since you signed up in September, you'll also get next month's in October as well. So it's a little gift from me to you if you want to sign up and you want these. This is your chance. Yeah, it's a new thing for me to do the bookmarks, and I'm getting back in the swing of it with the postcards. So pretty stoked. I hope you're stoked as well. I hope you like them. And I think that's all I have to say. I just wanted to let y'all know because I've been trying to get the word out and it seems like not a lot of people know about it. So I'm going to try to start just letting people know that I have this. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you like these bookmarks and postcards, let me know your thoughts on that, and let me know how you're doing today. Tell me about the weather where you are. I'm gonna talk to y'all about the weather later on in this video. It's been kind of wild, a pretty wild August. It feels awkward offering my Patreon stuff to you. I think this will get better in time. Why should I feel awkward about that? I'm not trying to coerce you into signing up for Patreon. I'm just letting you know that it exists. for your own enjoyment. I also have a podcast on Patreon. I'm really excited about that. And if you sign up in August, or really just before I make my September podcast, then you can ask me questions. Ask me whatever question you want. And I get a lot of questions about my big fine art printer. I get a lot of questions about markets, and that's all stuff that I like to know about creators as well, and artists and whatnot. There are so many bees on the Rudbeckia that's right outside my window, which is like a small native yellow flower. I would say it's kind of like a daisy. It's like a scraggly looking daisy. I gotta get going. Enjoy the video. Hi. So a couple months ago, my mom got me this bag. She got it from a supermarket in Hawaii. My sister lives in Hawaii, and she was visiting, and she got me this bag. Super cute. And I just immediately started using it because it's adorable, and I have all kinds of uses for bags like this. And as I was using it, I was like, man, this bag is really cool. Like, what is up with this bag? And so I start investigating it a little further, and I've learned that it's a reusable paper bag. It's also washable. And what I like about it is that it feels quite sturdy. It doesn't just feel like a paper bag that you get from the grocery store. It feels thick, and honestly, it kind of feels like leather, or like waxed canvas, maybe a little bit. It's really nice, and you can bend it and it still looks pretty. So I decided I want to make these bags. You may remember that one of my goals for this year was to make tote bags. This, I feel like, is a really cool eco-friendly tote bag. Canvas tote bags, we have learned, are not as eco-friendly as we wish they were, but with paper, the worst thing that can happen is that they can take this to a recycling bin, like, you know, with cardboard and stuff like that. I couldn't find this exact bag. Well, that's not true. I did find this exact bag, but it's gonna be so expensive to make. And I was doing the math. Foodland must order tens of thousands of these bags for them to be as inexpensive as they are on their website. Not sure how they do that. Very cool of them, but I can't do that. So I'm not going to be able to get those exact bags, but I did a ton of research online to find another bag, and I found these. It's similar. It's a tiny bit smaller, just a little shorter. It has canvas straps, which isn't my favorite as far as the sustainability aspect, but people surely could just rip these off if they wanted to recycle them. I do like that it has this extra stitching and extra paper fabric on the outside, so it feels a little bit more sturdy than the other bag, but it's also a little bit more rigid. It's a bit more like your classic paper bag that you get at the grocery store. So it's not my favorite. I really wish I could just get the bag that I like, but they sent me this bag as an example. I paid way too much money for this thing, but I wanted to feel it. I wanted to see it in person, and I wanted to try some experiments with it. They can print on it. I think it's about this much space where they can print. So I wanted to do some testing on it and see if I could paint on it. So the idea is I'd like to get them, either most of them or all of them, with a print on the front, one of my drawings, And then I would also like to be able to take some of those and either add something else, like my own hand done painting on the back, or add some more on the front like I did here with the stars. I'm not sure, my battery's dying. On top of the print that they sent me, I did gesso, and then I'm gonna paint with acrylic paint on top of that. I think if I went that route, then it would be less washable. With these bags, you can like literally put them in the laundry, or you can hand wash them in the sink. Pretty wild. I think if it were my own bag, I would just use like a wash rag or something like that. But I like the idea of people being able to just toss one in the wash if they want to. The stars are done with Poscas, and that seems to work pretty well. It seems like it's adhering nicely. So I think what I need to do is try a bunch of different mediums. Maybe I should even try just using acrylic and not gesso, because what gesso does is create a surface for the acrylic to sit on top of. Whereas if you use acrylic straight onto a surface, it has a tendency to soak into that surface. But maybe that's what I want it to do with this paper bag scenario. And then I need to try washing it, how I would wash it, and see what it does, how it behaves. Does it come off? Does it rub off? Or does it bleed? Or does it do something weird? We'll just have to see. Or is it perfectly fine? So that's where I'm at with this. That's what I'm doing. I hope it works out. It would be nice if I could buy some of these and have them for later this year. But that's what I'm working on right now. Hi, time for a little check-in. It's been kind of a crazy, wild week here, weather-wise anyways. We had lightning either hit our house or hit very close to our house the other night. Middle of the night, I'm asleep, and all of a sudden I like shoot up because there's this huge boom, and I wake up and it looks like it's brighter than daytime outside, like huge bright light beaming into our windows, and the sound, like it sounded like a bomb went off or something, you know, it's like louder than a gunshot, really crazy. And I like heard it, and my partner was already awake. He heard it and he was like, oh boy, okay, that was really close to the house, because the sound and the flash all happened at the same time, and it was really intense. So that happened. Everything was fine. We went out the next day and I checked everything, checked all the critters. Everybody was fine. But then I discovered that our like internet modem box was dead. Luckily the outlet itself was fine, and All of our electronics and everything were fine. I have a ton of surge protectors in the studio for that reason, because I can't afford for my computer to die because of that. I can't afford for my big fine art printer to die because of that, so I'm really careful about that. But that was pretty crazy. I've never experienced lightning that close before. And then today I'm kind of bebopping around the house cleaning a whole bunch because we've got family coming into town. So I'm like finishing up as much studio stuff as I can and then cleaning. And I was laying on my bed doing some product design work, and I'm laying there and my cat's Toulouse, you've seen him before, he was like kind of laying on my shoulder. We were relaxing and I was doing my product design, and Mochi was on the floor, my dog. Everything was chill, and then all of a sudden I felt like I was being shook like this, and it sounded like there was a truck outside, but there was no truck. And then stuff on my shelf rattled, and Toulouse, I could tell Toulouse felt it. He was shaking too, and then he like looked kind of spooked and he ran away, and Mochi growled. She was like, what's going on? I looked out and there's nothing out there. So an earthquake happened. I texted my partner about it, and I was like, oh, what happened? I think an earthquake just happened here. So sure enough, there was a 2.6 level hurricane that happened about 30-40 minutes north of us. And what's crazy too is my mother-in-law lives like 2 minutes down the road from us, just around the corner. And she didn't feel it. I texted her about it too, and she didn't feel it. And other friends of ours farther south haven't felt it. So for some reason, just we felt it. And that's the first time in my life that I've ever felt a hurricane, excuse me. I've felt a hurricane before. But it's the first time I've ever felt a earthquake. So that was pretty wild. Yeah, things I wasn't sure I would ever experience in my life, and here we are. Climate change is awesome. Really scary, but so that's what's been going on here. As far as the weather's concerned, did you want a weather update? I just got some artwork back from a gallery. Do you want to see it? It's kind of old. This is artwork. This is artwork that I did. It's all wrapped up. This is one of my favorite pieces to date, honestly. I might keep this one for myself. Especially since I just sold that big white dried sunnies piece that I loved so much. This one I might just keep it. I don't know. I don't know which way to go. So fun. Well, I don't really like this one. I may end up painting over this one. Perhaps I'll do like a last call on it. I like put it on my website for a ridiculous amount discounted and be like last call to get this piece. And if nobody snags it in a certain amount of time, then maybe I'll pull it off the website and completely redo it, because it's just not my favorite piece, and that's fine. And then this one, I'm really surprised that this one hasn't sold. I love this piece. I'm also surprised that this one, the prints of this one, don't do super well either. I have no idea why. Sometimes that's just how it goes, where like your favorite pieces don't do well and your not so favorite pieces do well, like they sell well and people like them. You know, what can you do? But yeah, I might kind of hold on to these for a little bit. I might hang a couple of these that I really like and just kind of have them for a moment. I might keep one of them for myself. I'm not sure. So that's what's going on here. Yeah, I really just wanted to catch you guys up on the weather. I'm wildly cleaning the house today. I look like a goblin, and that's fine. A house cleaning goblin. Our house is disgusting right now because we both work full time and have farm responsibilities, and things just fall through the cracks. Really big cracks. Really big ones. All right, I hope you're doing well. Bye. Chicken says hello. Say hi, Chicken. He insists on oh wow, look at that face. I don't know if you guys have noticed before, but Chicken has a really straight brow. I don't know if I've said that in a video before or not, but he has a really like straight line across his eyes, and it often makes him look mad. The first time our vet here saw him, very straight, there you go. The first time our vet saw him, she walked in the room and goes, "Oh, he looks mad." I was like, I know he looks mad. He always looks mad. He's looked mad since he was a kitten, but he's the sweetest thing. So anyways. Hi. So I got a question recently on Instagram about the balance between tattooing and fine art. And I felt like it was just too long of a chat for Instagram. I was going to put it on my Patreon podcast, but then I thought, why not put it on YouTube? Because YouTube voiceover is a great place for that kind of question. So let's jump into it. The balance between tattooing and fine art. I think this would be way easier to balance if most of my art was similar to my tattoo in terms of style. I know a lot of tattooers that also produce prints, and it works out very well for them because the work that they're producing as prints and paintings is so similar in style to their tattooing. So it's a bit seamless, if you will. And I felt that way too when I was producing artwork that was very similar to the tattoos that I was doing. But since I've moved away from that in my fine art practice, I have found it is quite challenging. And it's not just challenging in terms of the materials themselves or the style. That is really challenging because I'm trying to loosen up as much as I can with my painting style, and with tattooing, I can't loosen up. I cannot. I have to be real tight with my tattooing. So that in and of itself is quite a challenge, and I have to like mentally talk myself through it quite often. And then another challenging aspect is the admin side of things, particularly when I'm just sort of taking tattoos one at a time, and I'm not batching those, so I'm not books open from this time to this time. If I'm just taking a tattoo here and there, and they're just slowly coming in, I find that extremely challenging because there's a lot of back and forth that goes on with tattooing as far as like scheduling and consultation and that kind of stuff. So that's like one world, and then there's the studio world. And I find that when I'm in the studio, I am in the studio. I'm not thinking about anything else. And when I'm at the tattoo shop and I'm tattooing, I am not thinking about anything else other than that tattoo. So there's this interesting middle ground where I'm in the studio, but I can't focus on the studio because I have to focus on emails and scheduling. And I find that to be really challenging. Something else that I've noticed about myself is that throughout the week, I build energy in what I'm doing. So with the studio, Monday is usually pretty slow. Tuesday, I'm starting to kind of get a feel for what I need to accomplish that week. And then Wednesday's feeling pretty good. Thursday and Friday, I am like gung-ho. I am cruising. I'm getting stuff done, right? So when I have something outside of the studio, like tattooing, that I need to accomplish, then I've got all of this like studio stuff kind of nagging me, right? And then I've got tattoo stuff that I need to think about. And what I have found is that stuff falls through the cracks when that is happening. I'll forget to look at my tattoo inquiries. And so there have been times in the last year and a half where it's been a month since I've looked at them and I'm like, oh, I should go look at those. Then I look and sure enough, somebody sent me an inquiry 3 weeks ago and it's been 3 weeks and I haven't talked to them. I haven't reached out, and that doesn't feel good to them. Doesn't feel good to me. Nobody wins in that scenario. So that part I find particularly challenging. It's been easier this past year because I'm doing booking blocks, if you will. So books are open from this time to this time, so you can get your submissions in, and that is the time when I am looking at submissions, I'm responding to submissions, and I'm focused on that. That's the only thing that I'm focused on, and that's been really helpful. But I think one of the reasons that has worked is because I announced that I'm retiring at the end of the year. So the amount of time which people have to get in with me is finite. And before this year, so last year, that wasn't the case. Folks didn't know that I was going to be retiring this year. And so folks would just kind of like slowly trickle in here and there. And that is really what got stressful. So yeah, it's not something that I balance well, is what I would say. It's very challenging to balance it from the admin side of things with scheduling and emailing and then focusing on the studio. And it's also super challenging to go from kind of what you see here that I'm doing, which is a little bit more loose and sometimes messy. And I'm trying to loosen up more and more in my art practice. And then to go from like that mark making and that mindset switching over to something that has to be incredibly tight and incredibly controlled. It's very important that my hand is very controlled with tattooing. So that has also been a challenge, and it's something that I think about all the time. I don't believe that my tattoos have suffered for it this year, but it's something that plagues me. It's something that I think about all the time and that I worry about. And so yeah, I think those are my thoughts on the subject. I'm not sure if that's quite what folks were expecting to hear, but that's where I'm at. That's like a full check-in on that particular subject, balancing tattoos and fine art. And I'll be really curious to see how my work changes over the next few years as I'm either not tattooing as much or I'm putting it away entirely. I do still want to make work that is similar to what I do in tattooing with my sort of illustrative style, kind of like with the Carolina Wrens, but I also want to be able to loosen up and not have to be so tight. And that feels good, feels exciting. So I hope you enjoyed this voiceover, and I also hope you enjoyed the video. We're about to be at the end of the video, at the end of this clip here. So I'm going to log off now. That sounded weird. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.